I have here in front of me the new Makeup Revolution Metallic Muse collection. I am so excited about this collection. I can't wait to get into it because we have another one of the Icon palette series, which I really enjoyed the first 4 palettes from. So let's get into it and let's see how good this collection actually is. This collection is very kind of like holiday-esque, holiday themed, but kind of like with the silver and some sparkle. I don't know if this is a limited edition collection. I couldn't find anything about it. I will see if I can find it. Like, I will do a little bit more research, but it seems kind of like a limited edition-esque the way this is presented. I will see what I can find. But honestly, I feel like this is such a fun holiday collection. And you know what? Let's just get into the first product that I want to try. I got the Shimmer Balm lip gloss, and this is in the shade Frosted Muse, and this is a sheer lip gloss with a like silver-ish sparkle to it. It has like all of the products except for the eyeshadow palette have this type of packaging where it's silver with a little bit of glitter, kind of like glued in a swirly pattern. It doesn't seem to really come off, like it seems to be on there pretty sturdy. I don't like it when packaging has glitter that gets everywhere. It is definitely one of my makeup pet peeves. So I never tried this Shimmer Balm formula. I did try the Pout Balm formula. I don't really know what the difference is. This formula doesn't really smell like the bakery goods that the Pout Balm formula smells like. Kind of smells like nothing. So let's see. Ooh, that is very silvery sparkly, but not in a chunky way. Kind of in a cute way. It feels very kind of like thin and liquidy. That actually feels really nice. And doesn't seem to have any scent or taste to it, which I do really enjoy. Doesn't seem really minty. I believe this is supposed to be a dupe for the Fenty lip glosses that I think are really beautiful, but I cannot wear them because they are too scented and they give me kind of like a dry mouth and a headache. So this is really cute. Like, I can see myself topping something up, like doing a little bit of a lip combination with this on top. Like, this is a very nice gloss. Okay, I zoomed you in a little bit. We are getting into this eyeshadow palette. So the eyeshadow palette in this range is the Muse Icon eyeshadow palette. And we once again have the same packaging. It is just silver this time. My packaging did have a little bit of an like accident somewhere along the way. We have this kind of like, I don't know. I totally forgot the word for that. I need Google to help me. Oh, a tear. It's a tear? Seems a little strange to say about the packaging, but it kind of has this tear. But I tested it and it didn't really like alter the functioning of this palette. It still seems pretty sturdy. It's all still working. It's just kind of like this cosmetic issue that I'm just gonna live with. Like, the rest of the palette is fine. It's all fine. But when I did my review of the Icon palettes, like when I did my update on them, I did say that for me, this is a really nice formula. I haven't tested this one out yet, of course, but for me, so far, what I've tried, the Icon palettes are a beautiful formula. I just don't really like the packaging. I feel like it's a little cheapy. It doesn't feel very sturdy, and this kind of like proves that once again. I wish the packaging was just a little better, and then this would be like the most amazing thing I've ever tried from the drugstore when it comes to eyeshadow. Like, if this were like €1 or €2 more expensive and the packaging was amazing, I would be totally fine with it. So be aware of that, but besides that, this seems to be like totally fine. The color story of this one is really up my alley. Like, I'm not gonna use this black. I never really use black eyeshadow. I'm just kind of like ignoring it, but I'm usually more easily like fine with that if it's a drugstore palette and I paid drugstore prices. But for the rest of this color story, we have some neutrals, we have kind of like this purple, and we have a lot of really beautiful looking shimmers that are kind of like cool tone leaning. We have some pinks, we have some grays, we have some champagnes. The 2 creams here are also really nice shades, a gray and a pink. And I do enjoy the cream formula from these palettes, but I do always apply them with my finger and not with a brush. If I apply them with my finger, these don't crease. I haven't swatched this palette yet, but the shimmers look absolutely amazing, and we are going to be doing an eye look. And what do I want to do? I think I want to go a little bit like pinky purple. We also have some liquid eyeshadows that I want to like combine with this, but that's going to be kind of like a topper situation, I think, or maybe like an inner corner highlight. That could work. I am going to take the pink cream, and I am gonna take just a little bit with my finger. So it's kind of like this softer pink shade, and I do love my pinks. I do love pink eye looks. I did already apply a bit of eye primer, but that is usually what I do. I have really oily eyelids, so I like to be secure when it comes to my eyeshadow. Not that I'm gonna be able to wear this all day because it's already a little later in the day. So this is a nice shade. I don't really use these creams for like on their own. I use them more as like a base for the other eyeshadows because I feel like the matte eyeshadows from these palettes, they blend on top of this so nicely, and I do really like that. I also sometimes use these creams as a liner, but I don't feel like these shades are pigmented enough to do that. Like these are really gonna be a base, and they're gonna take the look in one or the other direction. Like you can take the look in a more pinky purple direction or more kind of like silvery metallic with that gray. And if you apply them with a finger, I just feel like they really dry down, almost like powdery feeling. But when you just kind of like lay them down with a brush, it just doesn't blend in enough, and then kind of like lays on top of your skin and it starts creasing. I feel like this is good enough for a base. I wouldn't do this just on its own. I wouldn't do it. I don't feel like that's my type of look. But I guess you could. But I just feel like applying a matte on top of this base just makes it all look way more smooth and it lasts longer. I think I'm gonna go into this kind of like rosy nude shade, this rosy nude matte, and then I'm gonna go into the purple one. I'm gonna be deepening that up. I just love my rosy cool toned looks, so I am actually very excited that they added this color story to the line, because this is so up my alley. Like this is really my type of color story, and I just feel like you can really see with that cream as a base, this just looks so nice and pigmented, and it's so easy to blend, and I just really love that combination. And these palettes have kind of like opened my eyes to the possibilities that you have with cream eyeshadows. Like I love this combination. It's really beautiful. Like this is a look for me. Just setting that down a little bit with that matte, like this is really pretty. I really liked it. I do hope that we're gonna see more and more installments of this line. Like it would be so fun to have different color stories and different like bright colors as well. Like imagine having a blue palette in this range. We already have the one with murky greens. I feel like these mattes are just really easy to work with, and they just look so effortlessly blended very quickly. I think that is looking really good. Okay, we're going into the purple, and I need a more precise brush. And I'm so curious about the pigmentation and blendability of this shade. Do love purple eyeshadows, and I do love combining nudes with purples. I just feel like that can kind of like soften the look, and it's just a combination that I really enjoy. Kind of like tapping that and blending that. I feel like the shades are blending into each other quite well, but the nude is taking away from the super purple look a little bit. If you want that purple to really be like true to pan, you have to apply it first, I think. But I really like the blend on the edge there, and I do really like that color of purple. It's a beautiful shade. I do feel like I'm a little limited in my choices with mattes in this palette because I'm not gonna use that black, but I'm okay with that because it's a very affordable palette, and I do like the different shimmer options. And we also have that really light kind of like sequin shade, that light pink, that I'm really excited to try. I'm gonna take that first brush and I'm blending over the edges with just the residue of that kind of like rosy nude shade. And now for the shimmers, I really wanna try this pink, and then maybe this kind of like champagne shade over here, and then I'll maybe try one of the grays on the lower lash line. So swatching that pink, That is looking really nice, super shiny. Yeah, that is absolutely stunning, super metallic. Ooh, that is a beautiful kind of like ballet pink. That is really nice. I just feel like the nicest Makeup Revolution shimmers are like in these palettes. Like they do them so well. Like, it's just so creamy, beautiful, and dimensional. And I'm just taking it a little higher because I do like having a little bit of shimmer in my crease as well. And now for that other shade, that champagne, that is also looking super shiny. That one is very, very pigmented. This palette makes me think a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sugar palette. I haven't bought that palette, but it looks like this doesn't really have a blue in it, I think, or this might pull a little bit more blue. But there's just something about this palette that gives me that kind of vibe, that kind of like cool toned pinky purple vibe. Those shimmers are just so beautiful, really impactful and like soft, but not too soft. Like not soft in the way they look, just soft in the formula, like easy to pick up. That is really nice. Okay, I kind of want to see if this shade is light enough for an inner corner highlight. I'll probably put one of the liquid eyeshadows on top anyway. I just want to see what the quality of this is like. It's kind of like this, I don't know, peachy pink matte with a little bit of a sequin in there. I think that is looking good in the inner corner. That is pretty. I do like these types of shades in my inner corner. I feel like they really brighten up a look. I think that's cute. Let's do the lower lash line. I am gonna go into this shade, the cool toned taupey shade. I'm just gonna run that underneath here. It's a little powdery, but it's sticking well enough. And then a bit of that purple to connect everything here on the outer part. Okay, I'm gonna grab the Glitter Muse liquid eyeshadow. We have this shade. This is shade Silver. It's just like the silvery, sparkly liquid eyeshadow. This swatches nicely. It is basically what you think it is. It's just kind of like a sheer topperish silvery sparkly liquid eyeshadow. And we also have shade Gold, which is kind of like a more cool toned gold. It's not super warm, it's not super yellowy, it almost seems a little bit more taupe. And this one also swatches really nicely. They have a similar type of formula. This one almost seemed a little bit more dimensional, but it could have also been just kind of like the light in which I was looking at it. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of this lightest grayish bluish shade on my lower lash line first. I think that one is gonna be really pretty. It picks up pretty easily with the brush. Yes, that is really nice and sparkly. I just feel like the textures in this palette are so pretty, and it's only like, I don't know, 10 euros. So that is a good price. I love what I did. Okay, I'm gonna use the silver one, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that in my inner corner. These have a really small applicator, which is really nice because you can be really precise. Ooh, that is pretty. That is really pretty. That blends into that shimmer on the lower lash line so well. That is really nice for a kind of frosty look. Let's apply a little on the other side as well, of course. I don't use that many liquid eyeshadows because sometimes I just feel like it's not like worth it. Like it's not even better than an actual eyeshadow, but I do feel like this has just that added like frostiness and dimension, and it's pretty easy to blend out and to use because it doesn't have a base color. It's just adding some shimmer, and I really, really like it. This look is turning out absolutely amazing. I kind of want to use a little bit of the gold one as well. Like, we're here to test out the collection. We're testing out as much as possible, so I'm just gonna apply that a little bit over there, blending it out a little. You just need a little, and it's looking really cute. I do like these liquid eyeshadows. I do think that they look really nice. I'm gonna blend my edges a little bit more with a clean brush, trying not to disrupt the shimmers too much. Like, I don't want to blend it all over my face. Alright, I'm gonna do some mascara, I'm gonna do my face makeup, I'm gonna do my brows, and then we'll be back for the shimmer lipsticks. Okay, so I really like how this eye look came out. I do have to say that on this side, the liquid eyeshadow looks a little crepey, and I feel like that is because I use a little bit too much. So I feel like you have to use a little with those just as a topper, and then it's gonna look better. I don't know how it's gonna look if you use them like on their own as the only shimmer, but at least here I just feel like it looks a little kind of like crepey, a little thick. I just have to mention it. I do still really love the look. I feel like it's looking great, but when I go like really up close to the mirror, I do see it, so I have to mention it. I am really liking this gloss. I feel like this gloss is looking so good. It's feeling really nice. Like, it's really like a nice in between. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. And I really like that this has no scent or minty feel or anything like that. I'm gonna take it off because we do have those shimmery lipsticks that I'm really excited to see like what the formula is actually like. Alright, so first we have shade Iced Berry. I think it's a really cute shade. These have the silver bullet packaging. It looks cute. It has some nice glittery swirls. I do like it. It does feel drugstore, but it is drugstore. It does feel better than the eyeshadow palette packaging, but it's also not like weighty or luxurious either. So these are the type of a lipstick formula where on the outside you see a lot of shimmer. Like, it's very shimmery, kind of like multicolored shimmers. It looks magical, it looks really beautiful, and then when you swatch it, it just becomes kind of like this glowy lipstick. I feel like these are gonna be more of a like glossy balm type product than a more metallic lipstick like the Kiko Milano ones are that they have in their holiday collection. So this is a deeper shade. I think it looks deeper in the bullet than it does in a swatch. We're just gonna see like what this is like on the lips. Feels really soft. I am already seeing some gunking up in my lip lines though, and I could already tell in the swatch that it didn't look like super smooth. It is a very sheer lipstick, very thin, kind of like nice feeling, but it looks uneven. Like, it's gunking up, it isn't looking smooth. I am building it up a little, but that isn't looking good on my lips. I do have lip lines. I have them, and sometimes I see them more than other times, and I just don't like it when lipsticks emphasize them this much, and this one looks uneven. I don't like it. It feels kind of like a tinted balm that's a little bit glossy. Maybe with your lips this might still work. With mine it doesn't. I'm not really liking this one, sadly. The shade Baby Pink, this one did swatch better. It did look more smooth. It does also seem like a shade that is more up my alley. It's kind of like this peachy pink. It definitely has quite a peachy undertone to it. It's not a cool tone pink, but we're gonna see like how it's gonna look on the lips and if it's gonna look more smooth. Like, it's really like this tinted balm type situation. I feel like it's looking more smooth, but it's still gunking up in my lip lines a little. And that is very sad because I was looking forward to these. It's just emphasizing them. Like, I feel like this one is a little better for sure than the berry one. But it's just really like sitting in there right away. Like, you swipe one time and it's already like gunking up in the lip line. So like, it feels nice. It looks kind of cute besides that. I feel like with this one, it's easier to ignore from a little bit of a distance. Like, you don't really see it from a distance, but coming up close you do see once again that gunking up. Like, this is not nice. I'm not liking it. I don't feel like this is super flattering. And my lips, they are just most of the time a little dry at least. Like, they are pretty good for the time of year right now because I haven't had any like heating on in my house. Like, the air hasn't been that dry yet, but those times are coming, and then I'm not gonna be wearing something like this that is gonna emphasize the lines really badly. So this is actually a bummer. I was on a roll. I was thinking this is going so well, I'm gonna love this whole collection, but that didn't end up happening, sadly. Okay, so I took off the lip. I put on a little bit of Queen Vibes lip liner by Catrice, and I did reapply the pink kind of like lip balm situation just to kind of like finish up the look. I do feel like in the end it's looking cute. I'm happy with my look, but as I said, I'm not loving the whole collection. I feel like the eyeshadow palette worked really well. I feel like the eyes are looking really good. I really like the color story, like the formula so far. Like, this came out really well. I'm happy with it. The liquid eyeshadows, I feel like, are pretty cute toppers. I have to try them out a little bit more to see if they don't turn like too crepey too quickly. Like, can you just use a tiny bit, or did I do something wrong? What is going on with that? The Shimmer Balm lip gloss I actually really enjoyed. I feel like that is kind of like a find for this video. I hadn't tried that formula before and I did really like it. And then the lipsticks, I don't know. I don't think they're really gonna be for me. I don't feel like they really lived up to my expectations. I do really like, of course, these shimmers, like it looks really cool, but it's not very practical. Like, it's not something that I'm seeing myself using more and more and more. I feel like Kiko Milano does it better. Of course, those lipsticks are a bit more expensive. Like, they are pricey, but I feel like the way they look and the way they work, I really enjoy, and I think those are really beautiful on the lips as well. So that would be my recommendation if you are looking for these shimmery kinds of lipsticks. And then that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.